I am live, so let's wait for a couple of seconds here and see if somebody joins us. Catherine, are you here? I bet I don't have the comments turned on. Let me see here. Plus, I don't want to start a Q&A. I can't see the... Oh, there it is. Okay. I didn't see the comments because nobody had commented. I'm having to watch my eyeballs while I adjust the camera. Hey, everybody. I am here. I am here. Looks like some people have found me. I don't know how to cut the slow mode on, so all I see is, hey, Brooke, hey, Brooke, hey, Brooke. These animals are starved. Please don't call PETA on me, because they obviously haven't eaten in a very long time, as you can see. But I'm sitting on a stool. I'm not sitting on the ground like I was last time. The last live, I sat down on the ground, and I just about had to have a lip transplant afterwards. I'm kidding, but Ernest T, big fella here, we did swap their names. The big white emu, his name is Ernest T. And the little fella that's facing y'all, who is a blonde emu, his name is Opie. So we did swap the names, and it's just because Ernest T has, he's about to knock the camera. Oh, my earrings, I set them over there, and he can see them, but I don't think he can get them. I took my necklace off, I took my earrings off, but I did a bad thing, and that was I set them within view. So he is, I'm gonna get him. He's anxiously trying to bust out to get my earrings and my necklace. I'm gonna put it in my pocket here, so that way nothing can happen, and there's no way that I can forget that it was in my pocket. That's crazy. You know, I feel like they don't have the best of eyesight when I'm trying to lead them somewhere or get them to do something. But just like that, my necklace and earrings were sat across the room, and he was about to come out of this pen to go get them. So they got some kind of, tell him, hey, Ernest. Y'all, he's looking behind the camera like, they're back there. I know they are. There's people watching me. He's, like I said, I don't want to say one of them's bad, but I do want to say that this fella right here, he's living up to his name of Ernest T. This little fella right here, he's the sweetest little, kindest little fellow that just doesn't peck at my ears and doesn't try to take my lip off. And, well, just like that, you can see Ernest T. He's gonna knock it over. So at some point, he's gonna make the camera take a tumble, and y'all just know that nothing happened to me. Hopefully nothing happened to me. He just knocked the camera over. You boys, not only are you acting like you haven't eaten ever, you're also making the biggest mess. It's a good thing that we have this artificial turf up under us, because, well, I don't feel like y'all can see it to clean it up. That was a finger, Ernest T. That was no more kale. He's gonna, I swear he knows that there's people typing on there. So, yeah, I had a chance this afternoon to come in here and sit down, and actually, my plan was to clean up the barn. And I said, who wants to clean up the barn? It's nice and warm in the milk room. And so I came in here and I said, just so happens that my little selfie stick that I used last time for the live was already in here. So I grabbed it and conveniently, where are y'all? Picked it up. I don't know how he can be so big and get out of the camera view. How is that, fella? Now I told Jason after I finished the last live that I have somewhere on this property one of those clear plastic guards that goes on your face. And I used to wear it when I weed eated, because it would keep, I wore sunglasses, but it would still keep debris from hitting me in the face. And I looked for that as I was fixing to go live, and Jason said, you cannot sit with that silly thing on your face. And I said, I can too. If it saves my lips, I can. But I didn't find it. And then I decided if I I actually practiced. I came and sat on the stool and let this big fella who's fixing to come right here see if he could reach up to my face. And he could if I leaned down, but I'm not taking any chances. Are we, sweet fella? Now that one, he won't. Ooh, y'all missed it. Let's see if we can't get a better view where we can see these guys too. Come here, boys. Come out front. Here's you some kale. I'm telling y'all, this is not a very big area, but how they are getting out of the view is beyond me. He's decided no, I don't even, I don't have a ring on because you pecked it off. You took my ring off and I haven't got a replacement. I looked for it this morning. I had a second and I decided that I was going to look for my ring because I have some backups. Couldn't find it. We need somebody to help us with organization. No, the camera can't be turned around horizontally. I'm sorry, Ray. This is the way my selfie stick works, and that's the way it's got to be. So that's that. I apologize for anybody that doesn't want it vertical, but until I figure out how to do it otherwise, we're just going to have to do it like this. Right, Ernest T? He'd give me a high five if he could figure out how to get his leg up that high. I have no doubt. Yeah, they are the most comical. And let me tell you something. If anybody out there, I'm not promoting people buy emus or get emus for pets, not knowing what they are. But if anybody out there is prepared or has another emu and is looking for a female, Milligan Farm up in Coleman County, Alabama, has a female standard color, which is like nugget, available. And I think she's 2 weeks old, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, somebody wanted to know on PETA's page, does it get too cold in Ohio? No, it doesn't get too cold. It doesn't. I don't know how much they go for, Charles. You'll have to reach out to Chelsea. No, Charles. I don't know how much they go for. You have to reach out to Milligan Farm on Facebook. She has a YouTube channel as well. I think it has an S on the end of it. Milligan Farms. She's very knowledgeable, and I tell you, she knows her stuff when it comes. Come here, this live, it's not about me, it's about you boys. Again, they have gotten totally out of the camera view. Nobody wants to see this refrigerator. Nobody. Oh, they're acting so silly, and I can't even get it all. Let's back it up a little. Maybe y'all can see how silly they are. So I had to change the carpet, and what I do is I have two carpets. One of them is usually always ready, and that one that was ready got a little bit wet in a place where I thought it wouldn't last night in the storm. So today I had to wait on it to completely dry before I could swap the carpets out. Well, it's too chilly for these guys to be outside today, so that meant I had to do something with them while I changed the carpet out. Well, some of y'all are not going to believe this, but I found this gate thing on Facebook Marketplace for little or nothing. It was actually in Clanton, Alabama, which is where I live, and it's 36 inches tall, which that gives you a perspective as to how tall Ernest T is now, if you can see it in the background. So it has a gate on it, and I opened the gate in order to get the old artificial turf out and the new in. And when I did, of course, the emus went out because, I've been training them, and I've been training them to step over this area to go out the gate. So, Mama, you told us to go out the gate, and that's what we did. So they're loose in the milk room. Of course, immediately, Ernest T has to do his number 2 on my milk room floor that I just mopped. I just mopped it. I'm not complaining. It's funny. It's funny that it happened. I then looked down at my shoe where little Opie here has done his number 2 on the toe of my shoe. So I hurriedly got the old carpet out, got the new one in. We're on clean carpet right now, but it will look like it did before I swapped it out. It'll look like that shortly. So it's pretty comical seeing these guys run loose in the milk room. Now, I walked outside the barn because every animal on this farm was hollering. You would think that nobody's been fed, ever. Goats were hollering. Matilda was hollering. Jesse was hee-hawing. So I said, y'all stay right here just for a minute. They were unsupervised outside of their gate. And the next thing I hear is the cat door flap going like this. And I turn around and I look, and Ernest T's got his head out the cat door looking at me like, Mama, can I come out? If he could have fit through that cat door, he'd have been loose in the barn. But luckily, he couldn't fit. And this little fella, he follows the rules. That hurts, y'all. I mean, it's just, that's what I say about if you hadn't done your homework about emus. Their little beaks they're powerful, and when it goes down on you, it hurts just like that. It's like a pinch. See that? Can y'all see that? That's just almost like a bruise that just happened instantly. And I'm used to it. But if you didn't know that that's what they do and you got one, you might be very disappointed to find that you have something that, well, I'm going to hide my hands, that you think wants to attack you all the time. And they don't want to attack. They're just playful. They're just fun. I thought I had my hands hidden. That hurts. I needed to wear some gloves, I guess. But our temperatures here in Alabama are hovering around 52, something like that this afternoon. And that is way too cool for these guys who are not nearly fully, they're fully feathered, I would say, but they're not adapted to being out. I've got their heat light on today, and then this room's heated, so it's going to take some adjustments for them to get used to temperatures that aren't consistently in the 70s, say. And then they have the ability to get warmer under the heat light if they choose to. And you might think, well, 70s is plenty warm for those big fellas. You wouldn't believe the amount of times that I come in this milk room and those two are up under the light because they like to be comfortable. And sometimes they get a little bit chilled, even in this milk room, and they go get under the light and get warmed up. And I see you looking at me and I don't like it. He could reach me if he wanted to, but I learned my lesson on the last live. He pecked my lip, and some of y'all were wondering if I was okay. It was fine. It was just a little uncomfortable for a minute, but yeah, I was fine. I just know from now on. And a lot of you sent me some emails saying that I needed to wear eye protection because seriously, they could injure my eye without me knowing it because they're super fast. They're I mean, they literally can just make movements that you aren't aware of in the blink of an eye. So Opie's decided he's gonna lay down over here. He's chilling out, trying to see that literally he thinks the grass is greener on the other side. It's not. It's fake grass, and it's no greener. It's no greener on the outside. So I'm just gonna fix it to where y'all can see that they do settle down sometimes. Now, even when it's cool outside like it is today, we will let them outside and let them get a burst of energy out to help. I'm just talking about how we calm you down and you're back up again. They have to move. They can't be, you know. Can y'all see Opie, how he's sitting right now? Ernestine, move. I wanted to show y'all how they sit. They sit like on their legs like this, like forward. It looks like they should go backwards, but they don't. They sit forward. Ernestine's doing it now. If y'all can see on the bottom there, but we just let them out supervised and let them run, let them get some energy out. Usually Ernestine will pant a little bit, even if the temperatures are like they are today. He pants, and he's telling me that, you know, he's working up a bit of a sweat there, and he's expelled some of that energy. Now, Opie, he can move, but he's half the size of Ernest T, so he can keep up with him. It's just, I don't feel that he expels his energy as fast as Ernest T does. And that's going back to the thing saying, you know, Nugget ran when he was a baby. Well, Ernest T gets more tired out, even at his young age, than Opie does. he gets, you know, he wants to quit quicker. And there's 2 weeks difference in him. But look at the size difference. I mean, he's expelling more energy because he's bigger. So, anyway. Yep, that's my hand again. Next time I'm wearing gloves. I'm learning a little bit at a time. I'm learning how to make these lives go easier. They, of course, can't stay in here for, well, not for much longer, but we're in March. I realize that we'll probably have another freeze, and I'm ready for temperatures to be consistent where they can stay outside, but we're not there yet, and there's nothing I can do about that. So in here they stay. He's getting a little too close for comfort up in my vision. But I'm gonna let them stay in here as long as it takes until their health is my concern as far as staying warm. Don't want a young bird of any kind to get chilled, and that goes for them too. You didn't swallow a thing. You take your head back just like you're swallowing, and he looks like he's understanding what I'm saying. Like he's swallowing a peel or something. He didn't swallow anything. Y'all don't let him fool you. See? You didn't swallow. You didn't get anything. No, you didn't then either. You're just wanting some attention. Opie? Oh no, that was ugly of you. Oh my goodness, y'all. Did you see what he did? I've never seen that. Ernest T, that was so ugly. You grabbed your friend by his neck. We don't do that. No. He does that. If he does that again, I need you to come tell me, okay? Because we'll put Ernest T in a little timeout. He can't do that to his friend. Maybe he didn't mean to. He sure does it to me. And Opie doesn't say anything to him when he does it to me. So maybe I ought to just let them settle their differences without me intervening. When he can't see my hands anymore, he starts looking, where are your ears, Mama? Where's your nose, Mama? Where's your face? But I tell y'all, they are a mess, as y'all can see. Now, I posted a picture of me doing my training with the emus. And let me tell y'all what happened with the training the day after. The very next day after I recorded, that's my watch. I recorded how my training was not going the way it should be. The very next day, I had them out in the back of the barn to run their energy out while Pookie was out grazing in the pasture. I'm sitting out there with them. The donkeys and the goats are loose in their pasture. I'd already let them out for the morning. Jason said, do you need anything else? And I said, no. And he said, well, I'm going to go home and start, I don't know, editing or something he was doing. Oh, work on his thumbnail for that video that day. I said, okay, that's fine. So Jason leaves, and all of a sudden I turn around and look, and Opie has gone through the fence into the donkeys and the goats. All right, no big deal. He's going to come right back because Ernest T's still in here. Let me see if I can show y'all them drinking. Well, that didn't last long. They scoop it up, and it's kind of like they're y'all. So Opie gets through the fence, and okay, it's okay. It's okay. I'll just go through, and I'll just go get Opie and bring him right back. I go through the stall, I go to the pasture, and about that time, here comes Ernest T. I do not know how he did it. He squeezed his big self in between that field fencing, which literally, y'all, I'm telling you, the holes are that size. There's no other opening in that pasture. He squeezes through there, and they're both running like it's the Talladega 500 through that pasture. I'm having a heart attack because Jesse and Honey are in there, and y'all know that donkeys are protecting animals, and I didn't want to chase them because the last thing I wanted to happen was them to get in the cow pasture and Moody step on one of them. So my quick thinking was to pick up the phone and call Jason, and I said, you got to come back, you got to come back. And so he comes back, and he helps me catch them. But y'all, I'm telling you, it scared me to death because I just knew that Jesse and Honey were going to get to them and step on them without meaning to cause any harm. Jason helped me and we got them back in. But I tell you, I never, ever, ever would have dreamed that this big fella right here could have fit through that little small fence. If I had to do it over again, if he wasn't named, he would be Houdini from this point forward. Put the kale in my lap. They eat it so fast. I mean, I'll get some more. I've got it in the refrigerator here. But y'all, they'll take the whole stalk. You'll see. I'll set it in my lap and they can peck at it. But all right, Rhonda, you may have been onto something. So maybe I just need to hold this like a bouquet of flowers here, and let them. Hey, that was a good idea. That was a very good idea. Are these emus different than Nugget? Nugget, we were his. I don't want to say herd. I don't know what you call a group of emus. A mob. That's what it's called. A mob of emus. We were Nugget's mob. As crazy as that sounds. So, you know, it was like he wanted us to do the things he did rather than... He wanted us to join him in running. He wanted us to... I don't know. He just considered... He never told me that he considered us one of them. But I felt like... Look, y'all. Look. Ernest T. Did you do that? He just felt like we were one of him because he didn't have a friend. He didn't grow up with another emu. And I knew at this point in my life, not at all that I don't want to spend time with them, but that I couldn't be here all the time. Marycarl is a teenager. She doesn't care about them like she did when Nugget was little. She wanted Nugget to be in the house, and she didn't think it was gross when we let him loose and run and Mama had to go behind him and clean up. It was all fun, and it was a part of her growing up. So Nugget was similar but different, if that makes sense. Just very, lots of things he did were very similar. I mean, emus are fun birds, but it's not for everybody. You gotta know what you're signing up for. Kind of like that. I mean, isn't that amazing? They just literally... I have one more stem that was that big. Can't give them too much of this. I mean, I could if I just let them loose in the garden out there and they started, you know, taking the rows down. But for the most part, this is a good vitamin for them and it's good for them. So, yeah, I'll grab the other stalk and see if they won't slow down a little. I've said time and time again, Ernest T doesn't like it like Opie did. Well, he just made a fool out of me because it's almost like Ernest T says, I'm a big boy and I can get it off the stalk by myself. So, differences of the two. Opie needs it cut up and put in my hands, and Ernest T says I can pull it myself. All right, boys, I've got one more stalk. Do you want me to get it? I've got, look at my hands. And this is a daily thing. It'll be healed up by tomorrow, thankfully. All right, one more stalk of kale. It's not as big as the other one. Luckily, I have a refrigerator in here that can keep it. I look like a little flower girl that's fixing to walk down the aisle holding her bouquet. But I'm holding it for the emus. Come over here, Ernest T. Show them what a big boy you are. How you can pull it right off the stalk. Nope, that's my watch. Nope, we're not messing with watches. We're messing with kale. Isn't that amazing? I'm just thankful that we had it planted already for us to eat, and then supplementing for the emus. It's been great to just go out there and pick it as needed and not have to say, well, boys, I'm out of kale today. Y'all have to wait till Mama goes to the grocery store. It's going to happen soon enough, because when those warm temperatures come in here in Alabama, it's going to bolt, and that means it's going to go to seed, and they probably won't care if it turns bitter, but and we're not going to plant our summer garden in that same area where the winter garden's planted, so it can stay there as long as it needs to. Now, we did harvest a whole lot of calendula flowers this season, and Jason recently posted a picture of what we plan to do. Well, not what we plan, what we are doing with the calendula flowers. We have a goat milk soap that's about to come out in our next, I'm scared of you, in our next launch, and it's made from those calendula flowers that we harvested the whole time they were growing this season. We did have some temperatures that got down to, I think the lowest it got down to was like 14, and that took the flowers out. I was hoping that it was going to come back up, and there is a little bit of green at the bottom. Do y'all see that silly thing? But it's not going to come back. Do the honeymooners eat kale? Pretty much everybody will eat kale, but not like these guys. I mean, you kind of figure. Sylvester just came in, and they must think Sylvester is the cat's pajamas because. And here comes Biscuit. Yeah, they're excited when the cats come in. Did they come and play with y'all when we're not here? Hey, Biscuit, come here. Biscuit said, Mama, I am not about to come in there with those dangerous things. So some of y'all might not want to hear about this, but my cats, they're barn cats, and it's 3 of them. Now, this is not what I consider a barn cat living in a heated milk room, but they can come in and out of here as they please, and they have beds and whatnot. But PETA over at Milligan Farm recently asked me, do my cats keep the mice away? Well, my immediate answer was no, they don't. But I can't say that they don't because I have never seen a mouse or a rat in this barn. Not since it's been here, I haven't seen a mouse or a rat. So you tell me, I mean, do rats and mice just smell the cats and not come near here? Or do they actually kill them and take them somewhere as we never see them? I came in here the other day and I went straight to the sink for, I was wetting Peaches and Pocket's food, and on the ground near the sink was a mole. And I don't know if you guys have moles where you live or not, but moles they're about the size of a small mouse, but they have like a pointed pointed nose that they use to dig with. You've had enough, hadn't you, buddy? And the cats had, well, they had said that it wasn't something that needed to be here, and they left it in front of the sink because obviously they knew I would find it there. And I said, oh my goodness, I don't know who did this, but I am very surprised. So yes, they brought it to me to let me know, and that's the first thing that I've ever been brought by them. That is it. There are some frogs that I have found in the milk room, but they're usually dried up. Tucker hasn't seen the emus. Tucker has rode on the side-by-side with me to this barn, but there again, it's almost like Tucker says, that barn belongs to those 3 kitties. They've never had a spat. They've never even seen each other that I know of. But Tucker doesn't come in the barn. She either jumps off the side-by-side and walks back home, or, you know, it's just they've never come in contact with each other. There goes Sylvester, out the door. So Pink stays down at the old barn, which is in the back of our property. She's just a solitary cat, and we have tried at the old farm to bring Pink even in my mama's house. Mama felt sorry for her, so she brought her in her house, and Pink just about had a come apart saying, I do not want to be in anybody's house, and went and found her way in a hole in a tree stump out near the old barn, and that's where she wanted to be. So, you know, it's just, you can't take something away from something that wants to be the way it is. And can y'all hear that? That's Snow White. Listen. Opie's, woo, that's exciting, isn't it, boys? Oh my gracious. Oh my gracious. That's so exciting. Yeah, she's letting y'all know that it's almost peafowl breeding season, isn't it? So speaking of Snow White. Some of y'all have wanted to know, will I take Not Scott or not Scott and bring one of them up here to be with her? They wouldn't stay. That area that Snow White is in is not enclosed. She has the ability to go outside and walk around in the stall, and it's just a post and some fence, and she could fly right over, but she can't see. So with her vision being limited, she doesn't try to get out. And if a male came over here and I put him down, he would go right out. So that's not. If one finds their way over here to her, that's fine. But hey, sir, that was my head. If one finds their way over here to visit with her, that's fine. But I am not gonna go get one and bring it over here so we can say, hey, here's you a wife, boy. I expect you to stay over here. It's not gonna work like that. All right, so I have been on about 30 minutes, so I'm going to move this closer to me and see if you guys have any questions. Just a couple. I'm going to take just a couple. Oh, my gracious. I see that Mr. Charles sent a very generous gift. Thank you, Mr. Charles. How sweet of you. We appreciate that. That will buy lots of emu feed, won't it, boys? Yes. And it will buy kale if we have to go that route. Okay, I'm supposed to be reading questions. I'm sorry if I missed you guys. So what do I think about the new calf? Oh my gracious. Oh my gracious. Okay, so there's no calf here. There's no calf here. Tater has not had her baby. Let me tell y'all about this. Hold off on your questions for a minute. Hold off on your questions, because I totally forgot I haven't talked about the calf. We did a live yesterday, but I didn't talk about the calf being born, Bruno, at Chestnut Hills Farmstead, because I didn't want to ruin it for them. But y'all, so it was Monday, I believe. Isn't that right? Monday? Yes. Monday, I received a call. It was Zoe. And I answered the phone. Not hello, not hey Zoe, not anything but, is it time? And Zoe said, yes. Do you want to come? And I said, absolutely. And y'all, Nick could not believe. Their farm is literally, it's probably 3 miles from here. So I was there. I mean, I didn't like speed, but I probably didn't go the speed limit either. Does that, I probably sped. I probably did speed just a little bit. But I got over there, and when I got there, the water had broke. And y'all, I needed to see this because Tater's pregnant, and I have never witnessed a calf being born. So I go, and we follow Cinco into the barn, which was the perfect place for her to go. And we're like, yay, Cinco, you're going to have the calf in the perfect place. Well, she didn't stay there long. She went outside, and she was kind of in some dirt. And, you know, everybody was kind of like, don't have the calf in the dirt. But we never tried to move her. We just stood back and let her do her thing. Well, she ended up having the calf close to where there was some cement. And, of course, Zoe was worried sick that, you know, the calf might have, you know, might hit the concrete hard. We all were. But we didn't do anything. We just let nature take its course. And, y'all, let me tell you, it was the smoothest delivery. I've seen goats be born, seen multiple goats be born, but this was the smoothest birth, except for when I haven't been there to see goats deliver. You know, when you walk up and you just see baby goats, well, that's no fun. You're like, hold off until I can be there because I want to help you if need be. It was perfect. It was so perfect. So one can hope that Tater will choose to be just as easy as Cinco was. Zoe had called the vet, and the vet said, okay, you probably got a couple of hours. And that was after the water broke. And so, you know, I'm like, I'm no calf expert. I don't know anything about cows, but y'all, I don't see how it's going to be 2 hours. I just don't see how. Within 10 minutes after I got there, you could start to see the hoof. And then probably 5 minutes later, we could see 2 hooves. And it just, I mean, it was just like that. I had told Marycarl that if she got her school done early that day, then we would take her to the movies. Captain America was playing, and that's something her and Jason like. But we were going to do that because we had had a kind of busy weekend. And lo and behold, Marycarl's still coughing. She had the sickness after I did, and so I'm thinking the whole time, please don't take a long time. Please don't take a long time, because I don't want to break my promise to my child. And I also don't want to miss the calf birth. So it was quick. 30 minutes, y'all. 30 minutes from the time I got there to the time that calf was born. And everything went smooth. But I got back home, and, you know, I was just on cloud 9. And Marycarl says, Mama, I really don't think I should go to the movies because I'm still coughing a lot. And while she's not contagious, she's had it 10 days, she didn't want to interrupt anybody by coughing in the movie theater, which was very commendable considering she's a teenager. So I went and showed my mama. I said, Mama, you've got to watch this. And she said, Brooke, I have never in my you know, some people don't like their age said, so I'm gonna say years, seeing a calf be born. So she was so happy, and I had videoed some, just not so I could share it, but just so I could show Jason and show Marycarl when I got home, and show my mama. And it was just beautiful. I don't think I have ever considered calling a birth beautiful, but it was beautiful, and I'm so happy I was there to be a part of it. She had a male calf, and his name was Bruno. And at first, I can say this with 100% sincerity. When goats are born, I have to really get down there and look to determine if it's a male or a female. And that was the same with the calf. At first, Zoe was like, it's a girl. And then she said, she has teats. And I said, males can have teats too. Because as we know, Joe or goat. I know it's a goat and a calf, but they have mammary glands, and but he's a little bull calf, and his name's Bruno. So I am just I'm just so happy to have been there, and I'm so happy that y'all remembered for me to talk about that, because I'm just still so giddy. Now if Tater's delivery is that smooth, I'm gonna be blessed would be the word. I just want everything to be smooth, you know. I just want it to be easy for Tater. And Nick and Zoe had no way of knowing that neither one of those two were bred, especially not Tater before she came to live with us, and not Cinco until I did the test and Jacqueline said Tater's getting wider and wider. Could she be pregnant? So, do I have names for Tater's baby? I just can't help but say Tot. Tater, Tot. But, I don't know. You know, a lot can change. I have all these names in my mind, and then when I see the personality of something, like this little fella, I'm telling y'all, he would be something totally... He's Ernest T all day long. But I would have some other names in front of Ernest T. He might have like a whole I remember this boy that we went to school with, he told us that his name was Justin Gerard Lambert Andrew Franklin, and I'm not going to say his last name, but that's the way Ernest T's name would be. He would have all these names because that's just how he is. So I like Spud too. Are y'all thinking it's going to be a male or a female? You know, I thought Zoe's was going to be a female. I don't know why. You got a 50-50 shot, and there's no reason or rhyme to think it's going to be one way or another. But I thought Zoe's was going to be a female, and it was not. So Catherine said she feels like mine's going to be a female since Zoe's was a male. And Zoe kind of feels like that too. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just want it to be healthy. Hoping twins. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I tell you, Tater is wide, and I know that everybody's different when they're pregnant. I've had friends that just got enormous, and the baby wasn't huge when it was born. The baby was normal size, but that mama may have been a normal size, but she grew a big belly. So I'm hoping that's what it is with Tater, because a lot of times if they're twins, well, they don't survive. They don't, well, both of them don't survive, I should say. And I just want it to be a healthy calf. I don't care the sex. I just want it to be healthy. And I think that's what anybody could ask for. But it's all fun to say, what do you think? And what do you think about, you know, this name or that name? Well, I test Mildred. I have Mildred's dates in my phone as to when she should go in heat. What, did you hear something? And so that's going to be my first test. It is March the 5th. Mildred will go in heat from the 9th through the 16th, because it's 17 to 24 days that they can potentially go in heat. 22 days is the average. So I'm going to start watching Mildred at March the 9th and see if she goes into heat again. Now, if she doesn't go into heat again, that's not, to me, yeah, it is an indicator, but sometimes she can have a heat and me not specifically know it. So, yeah, I will have her tested if she doesn't go in heat. Now, if she goes in heat, we know she's not bred. But who would have? Zoe never ever thought that Ferdinand could reach either of those girls, and he did. I mean, we saw a mini Hereford be born just last Monday. So, or not last Monday, like 2 days ago Monday. Tell him hey. Tell him hey. That's right. Did you swallow somebody? Oh my goodness. Now that's Opie. Opie has to do what Big Brother does. I can't say anything because they're enjoying themselves, and you know what they're eating? They're eating the emojis that you guys put on there. They think that is something. Like that was a laughing face and a heart. Opie thinks that, Yep, she said he got me. Did y'all see that? Okay, so it's about time to wrap things up. Are his eyes blue? The white one's eyes are blue. And they will stay blue. I encourage y'all to go over to Milligan Farm. She has a YouTube channel that she started, and she has the parents to these guys. And you can see a white grown-up emu and has blue eyes. Now, Opie does not have blue eyes. His eyes will be brown like nuggets. Not a lot of, you don't really notice his eyes like you do Ernest T's. When will I let these guys be in with Nugget? Okay, so here's the deal. We want these guys to be big enough to be able to run with Nugget, and also, I don't want to say run from Nugget, but I want to say want them to be able to get away from him if they choose to do so without running. So Miss Peta suggested 4 to 5 months is probably about when they will be big enough by her, you know, raising emus. Yes, Milligan is in Vinemont. That is correct. But we don't want to put them out there too early. And I'm going to leave Goldie with Nugget until these guys are big enough to go in with him. Now, they don't mate for life. Emus don't mate for life. In the wild, they do their business and they go off and they find another mate. It is no issue whatsoever if you can't get out of there. It is no issue whatsoever for one emu to leave and then go find another mob, so to speak. It's just the way it works. They just, as long as they're with another of their kind, they're okay. And so Goldie will go over to G&G Farm, which is Catherine. So Catherine had initially tried to get along. I just read a comment. Do males get along? Catherine had initially tried to hatch the eggs from Goldie and Nugget, And then we met PETA, and PETA said that's a genetic problem. You don't do that. So no more of the hatching eggs. But if I gave, thank you, Jody, thank you very much. If I gave Goldie to Catherine, Catherine has little Otis, and she can indeed let Goldie lay eggs, and Otis will sit on them. So that's the plan. You're disappointed that Goldie's being rehomed. Kathy, I think you need to realize that right now, at this very, very moment, Nugget is out there sitting on an egg. I don't know if it's 1 egg, 2 eggs, 3 eggs. He's out there sitting on an egg. So when I finish with this live, I've got to get Jason to come help me. And we've got to get Nugget up off of those eggs because he can't sit on his sister's eggs for 60 days. Hey, I'm okay. I'm okay. Ha! I'm back. Am I back? Am I back? Oh, still no sound. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. So I was saying that that I wasn't being ugly by all means saying Kathy's name, but I want you to understand that we didn't realize that there were genetic problems because we have chickens, birds, any kind of birds that we've ever dealt with have never been a problem to interbreed. As a matter of fact, you can actually make a bird better genetically by inbreeding them. But ratites, which is what emus are different. And I just can't let it happen. So therefore, Goldie isn't attached to us, and not to say we aren't attached to her, but we want what's best for her, and we want what's best for everybody. And I think it's best for Nugget to not sit on his sister's eggs, and he's gonna do just fine with Ernest T and Opie. Males will get along 100%. They get along just fine, except for that's only if there's no female present. So we're not gonna have a female. We will never have a female. I can't deal with a bunch of babies running around. Catherine can. She's in a different position than I am. I'm not saying Catherine's not busy, because she is, but that is Catherine's goal, is to have emus reproduce. And I can go visit Goldie anytime, y'all. I literally could walk through the woods 3 miles that way, and I'm at Catherine's house. So it's no big deal. Miss Kathy and Mr. Stan, which is where Goldie came from initially, they are absolutely on board with it. I did offer Goldie back to them first. I said, if y'all would like to get a male and start over, or a female, and bond with Goldie and never have this problem with I can't part with Nugget. I cannot part with Nugget. He has a hold of my heart. And so Nugget's here. He's going to stay here. And Kathy and Stan were not in a position where they are now to start over. So it's the best plan for everybody. And I don't want to sound like I get worked up or I get upset with somebody when they ask that. It's just what's going to happen, and there's no need to discuss any other way. So anything else? Yes, Nugget is the best. He knows it too. Any other questions? Can the middle pasture? Yes, the middle pasture can be allowed to yes, we will never put these boys in with them without them being introduced to the fence first. That will definitely happen, and a little bit at a time once the weather warms up. I don't want these guys out there when they could slip through the fence and something could potentially happen. So they have to get a little bigger. And will I move the silkies? Yes, my plan is still to put the silkies in the backyard and the potager garden. We just got some sod put back there, and that is part of the finishing touches on the potager garden. When am I lost? The chicken house meaning the tractor, or the chicken house meaning the Silky Palace? It's pretty much ready. We're going to build a little run around it so we can, you know, let them have a secure area with a top on it without us being outside. And then we're going to let them out when we feel comfortable with them outside with us. The Victorian crown pigeons are doing very well. I don't know if they will, I don't know if the Victorians will lay this year, but they're not brother and sister, even if, but pigeons, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Hopefully we'll have an egg this year and maybe a Victorian crown pigeon baby, but we don't know. How long will it take to get the hay wagon ready? I tell you, I have been knocking on Jason's noggin, telling him that I think we may ought to bring in some help for the chicken wagon. We want it to be done sooner than later because, well, right now we had plans of moving the chicken tractor day before yesterday, and it didn't happen. It takes us a couple hours to get it done. We have the new chicken door installed in there, and I thought I had it programmed to stay shut that night, and I didn't. So they all got out. So they didn't get moved that next day, and they have to be up in order for us to move that bus. And I mean, we're just trying to make our life simpler. When are you doing the work on the chicken wagon? As soon as Jason agrees to let somebody help, then we'll find out their schedule, and that's probably Roberto. But we'll find out his schedule, and it may be that we could take the wagon, the little hay wagon, over to Roberto and let him work on it on his time. You know, a shed on that trailer wouldn't work. We want it to be built in. We want it to be the entire length of the trailer. It's 20 foot long, 7 foot wide. There's no shed that we could pick up and put on there. It's just best that we custom build it, and that's what we're gonna do. Any more cooking videos coming soon? Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna cook, but yeah, I like to cook. It's just, and I don't want to sound like everything is hard on my end, but I have a hard time. I'm very judgmental of myself when I cook. Okay, so I feel like I have to have everything ready, and I have to have everything just so, and it takes me forever. If I'm making a 10-minute cookie recipe, it's going to take me 3 hours because I'm filming it. So that's the only reason. If I could get more comfortable in my own self as far as when it goes, you know, to cooking. I'm a messy cooker. I'm a very messy cooker. And nobody, well, I don't want to say nobody wants to see that. It would be kind of comical, honestly. It'd be kind of like training the emus. I just, I'm not comfortable in my own skin. All right, y'all. So I have been on here. My gracious, Jason liable to be finished editing by the time I get done. Do a live cooking show. Oh my gracious, absolutely not. I would have to have a wine tasting with that, and I don't even like wine, if that tells you anything. I don't like any kind of alcohol, honestly. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this live, and I will continue to do them. I want to do one outside and just walk around with the animals. I don't know how far our internet goes. We do have internet in the barn, and I can walk around outside to have internet, but I lose it from time to time. So that'll be when the weather warms up. It's I got my insulated pants on today. It's a whole 55 degrees, and insulated pants, thermal shirt, lined jacket. It's cold in Alabama. Y'all are laughing at me. But I hope that you guys have a good rest of your day. And we'll continue to do these random lives. And y'all just hope that Ernest T and Opie, well, just hope that they mind their mamas, all I'm going to say. Y'all have a good rest of your evening. And hope you enjoyed. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you to everyone.